What up, world? It's Eternal Authenticity, broadcasting live. The one and only Sky Blackwell, Eternal Authenticity, broadcasting live. I'm here tuning in. I got a message for y'all as always. First things first, click the like button, hit the like button, show some support and good vibes. Click the like button right now. Thank you. But yeah, my video today is why do people get sick? Why do people get sick? What is the cause? What are some reasons why people get sick? Why humanity is sick? You know, why most of the world is sick, you know. There's a lot of reasons, but right now in this video, I'm about to name four specific reasons. Four. Sky Blackwell, Eternal Authenticity. 4 reasons why people get sick, you know. Prevent this so you won't be getting sick. You know, there's other reasons I'll continue to share in future videos, and you can check out my other videos. I'm always giving knowledge and listing great information to help people, you know. So, but here we go. First things first. Number 1, Sky Blackwell, Eternal Authenticity. Number 1, first reason why people get sick: stress. 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 Stress is a big reason. Stress. Stress. People are stressed. People are stressed out about different things, you know. People have different stresses. There's stresses in life, you know, different stresses. Some people have children, you know, they're stressing about raising the children or providing for the children. Relationship stress, you know, work stress, you know, job, you know, bills stress, money stress, you know what I'm saying? Different stresses that people have, you know. Yeah, so that's a big thing that we have to eliminate. There's different stresses. People studying in school, people have school stress, you know, just stress of just, you know, finding yourself or just life in general, you know what I'm saying? Different life stresses, you know, with getting your body right, you know, whatever, you know. But stress, you know, lack of sleep, that's stress. My point is, you can't be stressing. You have to eliminate your stress, you know. You have to eliminate stress from your life. You have to relax, you know. I know it's not a perfect world. It's not a perfect life. You know, this, you know, stress, but we have to handle it in the best way. We have to minimize stress. You know what I mean? That's my point. Like, if there is connections, interactions with people that's, you know, it's stressful dealing with them, then you want to minimize the amount of time that you're dealing with those people that's stressful, you know. Or like when you're at work, you can't be stressing, you know, stressing out about your businesses or about work, about life. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love, I'm a proud hippie. I'm a proud hippie stoner. I love relaxing, get my mind right with my herbs, you know. Because stress is what kills, you know. That's why I'm living a long life of longevity, you know, because I'm not stressing. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time to stress, you know, like yeah, about relationships, with the different, ladies, the different women, who the relationship didn't work out with. I can't be stressing out over that. I know my time will come where I will finally have an amazing, beautiful wife that's meant for me and only me. I'm worthy to have a faithful, loyal, pure wife, so I'm not going to be stressing out about an ungrateful woman that's playing games and shows no respect and has no commitment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be stressing out about that toxic stuff. I'm focused on my vision. I'm focused on my blessings that God has for me. I'm focused on the woman of my dreams. I'm focused on having a successful 80-year plus marriage with my beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm having beautiful children with her, and yeah, I'm doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have time to stress about a woman who's not on the same page as me. For real. I'm focused on my beautiful vision that God has for me. My life, my vision, my purpose, my dreams, my love, the marriage, the family, businesses, all that stuff. I'm staying focused. I don't got time to be, fooling around with energy vampires, people that just want to bring you down and criticize and be a dream killer. I don't got time for that stress. It's unnecessary stress, So point is, eliminate stress, in your mind, in your life, how you handle stress. You know what I'm saying? You could be dealing with stress at work. How do you handle it? Make sure you come into work feeling relaxed and with lots of energy and handle it in a positive way. Different stress, like make sure you're resting, getting sleep. You know what I'm saying? Getting sleep, making your heart filled, be filled with more love, be more warm, be warmer. That's how you eliminate stress. People that's stressed out, they're always cold and real hard and shallow. You know what I'm saying? In a rush, hard, tough, in a rush, racing, fast. You know what I'm saying? That's why you stressing. You know what I'm saying? You rushing and racing. That's not good. That's why most people burn out and most people crash out and they lose. You know what I'm saying? They don't live their true dreams. But I'm different, Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. I'm the true leader. I'm the true champion. I'm the true leader. I'm a true hero. So I'm stepping up to the plate. I'm an authentic God. You know what I'm saying? So I'm staying focused on where I'm going. I'm not crashing out. I don't got time to be stressing out, going down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So this is real life. You know what I mean? This is my real life, and I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I'm inspiring. I'm healing, and I'm here to live a great life filled with lots of love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be happy. Yeah, I came here to be happy. I came here to be healthy. I came here to be happy. I came here to be at peace with myself and others. I came here to be respected. I came here to be respected. I came here to be free. I'm gonna stay free, always, forever. I'm free forever. I came here to be wealthy. I am wealthy. I am rich forever. I am rich forever. And I came here to have a prosperous, magical life filled with lots of fun, So having that type of mindset, that's a great mindset to have. That's why I'm successful forever. That's why I'm winning big in life forever. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. I'm super highly successful because I have a positive attitude and I'm consistently putting in great work every day. Every day I'm showing up with passion, consistency, and great work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying disciplined. I'm being resilient. I'm being persistent. I'm being persevering through thick and thin. You know, I'm turning trash into gold. You know, that's who I am. I'm a wizard. You know, I'm a wizard. You know, I turn trash into gold. You know, when the world gives me rubbish, when the world gives me infertile weeds, bad soil, I'm able to magically convert that into golden, beautiful roses and strawberries and mangoes and, you know, plants, lovely plants, fertile plants. So that's what I do. And no stress. This is a no stress zone. You know, just like that song, no flex zone, no flex zone, no flex, yeah, no stress zone. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. It's a lot of people that's out there in the matrix, on the social media, out there on television, out there on different contracts and entertainment. You know, all these people, these little puppets selling their soul. These are little puppets, these are little clowns, these little pawns and puppets and clowns selling their soul, you know, stressed out, chasing money, chasing fame, chasing love, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they losing, that's why they sick, you know? This video is why people get sick. Stress. Stress is one. So if you want to prevent being sick, eliminate stress, all right? Next, nutrition. I'm a plant-based alkaline vegan of over 8 years. Of 8 years now, I'm plant-based vegan, alkaline. So I can speak on this. Nutrition is important. I don't eat meat or dairy. You know what I'm saying? I don't consume animal products. You know, I'm into the herbs, I'm into the fasting, I'm into loving myself and feeling strong and healthy. I love exercise. I love feeling good and healthy. I love taking care of my body. I got my burdock tea, burdock sarsaparilla yellow dock tea, burdock yellow dock sarsaparilla. This is great for iron, high iron, great for cleansing the blood, great for cleansing the kidney and liver. You know, sarsaparilla, burdock, yellow dock, super great alkaline tea, high in iron. You know, this is what I'm on. You know, I'm the realest forever. I'm the greatest forever. I am the greatest forever. You know, Sky Blackwell, I'm always stepping up, consistently being the most passionate. I'm giving the goods, you know, and nutrition, that is a big part of why people get sick. You know, if you're drinking alcohol, if you're drinking sodas, alcohol, milkshakes, you know, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? That's real bad. It's gonna catch up with you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna catch up with you. And you will suffer the consequences. Eating junk food, you know, fast food all the time, greasy foods, the meats, all that stuff, that poison, that acid energy is bad. It's sick. It's causing people to be sick. You know, so when you eat more of a plant-based, vegan, alkaline lifestyle, you know, diet, nutrition, that's better. Plant-based, vegan, alkaline, you know, herbs, fasting, juices, spring water, mangoes, arugula kale salads, strawberries, peaches, papaya, you know what I'm saying? Apples, you know what I'm saying? That's what you gotta be on, you know, nutrition. Make sure your nutrition's better. Drinking juices, cold pressed juices, drinking herbal teas, drinking coconut water, spring water, sea moss, you know, sea moss, elderberry, ginger, you know what I'm saying? That's what you gotta be on. Nutrition is why people get sick. When you're constantly eating dead foods, you know, blood and starches, you know what I'm saying? Candy, you know, all these, you know, breads, all these wheat and bread, And all these artificial products, all these man-made artificial processed products, it's designed to kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's keeping people sick. That's the truth. I'm always the realist forever. I'm always going to speak that truth forever. I'm always going to spit that fire. You know what I'm saying? So if you want the truth, then show some love and stick around. You know what I'm saying? But if you're afraid, if you're scared, if this is too much for you, then go ahead and leave. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always going to keep speaking the truth. This is what you need to hear. All right. So nutrition is important. You are what you eat. If you eat junk food, you attract junk. When you eat bad fatty foods, acidic foods, mucus causing foods, mucus forming foods, you become sick. You look bad. You have a miserable, slow, funky energy. You have a grouchy, grumpy, parasite type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? When you're consuming animals and dead foods, animal products, all that, they have worms, parasites, all that stuff is nasty. It doesn't give you any type of nourishment. It doesn't give you a high frequency. It doesn't give you high energy. It doesn't give you electricity. So nutrition is important. Eliminate the junk food, eliminate the meats and dairies. Go onto the plant-based, vegan, alkaline lifestyle. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Nutrition is why people get sick. Number 3, why people get sick. A disconnection from God. A disconnection from God. What do I mean by this? Many people have sold their soul. Many people are very lost. I'm a leader, so I'm helping guide people to be on the right path, of righteousness. I'm a righteous, honorable king, So thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. Authentic squad, authentic family, authentic people. Thank you, Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. But a disconnection from God will keep anyone sick, because if you go through life with just attitude like life, is pointless, like, screw it, having no type of enthusiasm, no type of gratitude, no type of love for the life that God has blessed you with, that's bad. If you're not, connecting, centering your spirit, if you're not connecting and centering your spirit, you need to be aligned, but if you're not connecting, that's bad. That's going to keep you sick, So why do people stay sick is because they're disconnected. They're not connecting with their higher self, a higher source, a higher power. They have a weak faith. Weak spirituality is bad. You know what I'm saying? We need to be healthy. We need to have a strong faith and a strong connection with God, because we're born alone, and our body, we don't take our body, our spirit, our soul is immortal. I am immortal. I am eternal. I am forever. I am a soul. I am a spirit operating this body, this physical vessel, human body, So the point is, I'm always making sure I'm checked in. I'm checked in with God, with life. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go throughout life disconnected, you're only going to be a failure. You're only going to be a loser. This is why I'm in the 1%. I'm in the top 1% forever. I'm in the top 1% of humanity of the population forever. I'm at the top, greatest forever, because I'm always having a strong connection to God. You know, I'm truly living an honorable, faithful life. You know, I'm an honest man. You know what I mean? I'm living a life filled with integrity. You know, I'm a man of integrity. You know, I have good character. You know, I have morals. I have values. You know, my soul is not for sale. You know, that's why I'm winning big in life, because my soul is not for sale. You know, I'm connected to God. That's why I'm healthy. I'm super healthy forever, because my soul is not for sale. People who have sold their souls, you know, they're sick and they're suffering, you know, because they are violating God and they're disconnected, you know. But me, I'm my own business, I'm my own brand, I'm my own boss, and I'm a child of God, and I'm signed to myself. I'm signed to God, you know. I'm doing this walk of life with God. I'm doing this dance of life with God. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of time alone. You know what I mean? There's hard times, there's alone times, whatever, you know, ups and downs, you know. But my point is like, I'm forever. So like in every lifetime, I'm always gotta make sure I have a strong commitment to God. I'm always making sure I'm maintaining a strong conscious commitment to God. I'm making sure I'm maintaining a strong connection, relationship with God. That's why I'm healthy, you know, because if you just go throughout life just thinking that, you know, your actions don't have consequences, if you think that, you know, there's no karma, you know, if you just think that, you know, you could just get away with whatever, you're in for a rude wake-up call, you know, because you're wrong. You know, karma is real. You know, God is real. So the reason why you're sick is because you are disconnected. You know, you have no soul, you have no compassion, and you have no empathy for others. And you lack faith, and you have a weak spirit. You know, that's why you're sick. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not truly connected to source. You don't have true appreciation for life. You know what I'm saying? You just think that, you know, it's just a coincidence, this whole earth and universe. You think that this is just, you know, you think that you made this world. You think that you made yourself. You have the audacity. You have the audacity to think that you made everything. You know what I'm saying? It's people that have such a big ego. It's people that are so unnatural and so out of touch with reality that they need to humble themselves, and they think that, you know, that they just made this world and they could just, you know, make up whatever and show no appreciation to the true creator. You know, like that's not good. You know what I'm saying? You need to be connected to source energy. That's my point. You know what I mean? We're children of God. We were given this world. We didn't make this. You know, just like Tupac said, I was given this world. I didn't make it. You know, it's true. Shout out to Tupac. I was given this world. I didn't make it. You know, I have my soul. I have my connection with God, you know, but this is an experience I'm grateful for. You know, I know I'm not in control. I have free will. I have my own heart and soul connection with God, but God is in control. You know what I mean? It's God's plan, God's timing. God's plan, God's timing. always, forever. That's how it's always going to be, every lifetime. You know what I'm saying? There's no ending. There's no ending. There's no getting out of this universe. There's no getting out of this lifetime. There's no getting out of this incarnation. There's no leaving God. You can run, but you can't hide. You can't hide, you know? So that's my point. If you want to get on that healthy path, you better connect with God. You better really go within and go on the journey to discovering who you are, discover your purpose, help others, be more positive, and just work on your spirit, work on connecting within and to the ultimate creator. You know, I'm not saying you have to be this perfect saint or whatever. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You know, I'm just saying at least every day take steps in the right direction, not the wrong direction. Always move towards, make more momentum towards the right direction. So yes, why people get sick? A lack of faith to God, you know, a disconnection from God. That's why. So make sure you connect with the universe, with your higher creator, higher source, you know, divine source energy. Yes, give thanks. Thank you, God, creator, almighty. And here's number 4, why people get sick. Why humanity is sick. Lack of exercise. You know, lack of exercise. It's true. You know, like if you are always watching television, sitting on the couch, eating junk food, you know, asleep all day, or at a job all day, you know, and you're not being active, you know, it's not good. You know, that's why you're sick. You know, you need to get your cardiovascular system going. You need to, you know, work on toning up your muscles, you know, ladies, you know, get your waist nice and slim, ladies, you know, you're, you know, doing your squats, you know, your glutes, you know what I'm saying? You know, your booty and booty workouts, and, you know, your leg workouts, and, you know, abs, and, you know, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, we all gotta work out, you know what I'm saying? You know, me as a guy, you know, I work all, you know, total body, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, as a guy, of course, the guns, you know, it's that plant-based, alkaline, vegan, gorilla muscle, Sky Blackwell. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Real, true, solid muscle, plants, you know? So it's important. We gotta exercise, you know, women and men, you know, we all gotta exercise. You know, I'm encouraging everybody to exercise, you know. So lack of exercise is bad. That's why people get sick. You know, we need to make sure we're active. You know, we're going out for walks, going out for runs, going out for walks on trails, going out for bike rides, riding the bicycle, you know, playing basketball, tennis, you know, baseball, volleyball, you know, exercise, bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Bodybuilding, you know, body weight exercises, you know, yoga, you know what I'm saying? It's different stuff, you know what I mean? So many different ways to exercise. So that's an important way to boost our metabolism. That's how you burn fat, boost your metabolism. That's how you detox. That's how you slim down and you become stronger and you become healthier and you clean your gut out. You know, over time, you know, you become more solid, you become more stable within yourself when you exercise consistently and as a lifestyle. You know, if you become sedentary and lazy, you know, you're only gonna lose. You know, if you become lazy and unproductive and you don't put no work in, then you're gonna be living a bad life, you know. But if you put in that work, if you exercise, if you make some form of commitment towards exercising, you will be healthier. You know, it will improve your health. It's good for your blood vessels, your veins, your arteries. It's good for all your body, you know, to exercise. Good for your mental health, your spiritual, emotional health. So make sure to exercise. So that's my video. 4 reasons why people get sick. So rewind this video, replay this video, listen to it, take notes, and work on becoming healthier. You know, prevent yourself from being sick. Make sure you do your best to show up, stay disciplined, don't give up, you know, and just be conscious about your health, you know, make conscious efforts to improve your health. Don't be lazy, don't procrastinate, you know, make sure you invest into your health, you know. So much love, thank you for listening. Sky Blackwell, Eternal Authenticity, Why People Get Sick. Thank you. Like this video, click the like button, show some appreciation, hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram. I'm taking a fast on social media, actually for probably another few weeks or a month or so, who knows. But I'm taking a fast, but I will respond to all my messages on Instagram at Eternal Authenticity, Sky Blackwell. Hit me up, message me to schedule a one-on-one nutrition and wellness consultation session, you know, for nutrition and wellness knowledge with me, Sky Blackwell. Hit me up. Also hit me up to order, you know, alkaline herbal teas like this burdock, yellow dock, sarsaparilla tea. You know what I'm saying? Alkaline healing, detox herbs, sea moss. And for all the recipes, plant-based recipes, my ebook. Message me, connect with me, send me some good vibes. I will send you some good, peaceful energy. At Eternal Authenticity, Sky Blackwell. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Like this video. Y'all take care. Stay healthy. Stay elevated. And give thanks. It's Eternal Authenticity, broadcasted live.